You don't feel overwhelmed. Your house isn't on fire. And you haven't missed a mortgage payment, yet you feel spent and stagnant. But why? It's that constant upkeep, the kind of labor that doesn't show up on a calendar, but makes you feel like you're aging in dog years. Maybe you just finished emptying the dishes, and another small vacuuming thing quietly takes your time away. By Friday, you're exhausted. Not because you fought a war, but because you were death by a thousand cut of your own life. Usually, this is where the internet tells you go buy a planner or manifest more hours. You tell yourself you need more discipline or a better morning routine, but the truth is actually much simpler. Your life has accumulated a massive pile of repeatable maintenance, and you're still the only person on the payroll. We're not chasing riches here, we're chasing free. And you can't be free if you're personally responsible for every crumb on the floor in your household. So I'm going to show you a tool, the time leverage engine that can help you surface every crumb on the floor task you're currently doing. This tool doesn't care about your vibes. It looks at the cold, hard math of your maintenance. It's designed to help you find those tiny recurring leaks that are quietly drowning your potential for building real wealth.
Here you're looking at the time leverage engine, and this is not a productivity system for hustlers. We start by listing the recurring tasks quietly eating away your week, all the boring stuff. There's a longer list breakdown of these recurring patterns inside the Wealth Playbook. But for now, let's just play with two simple examples so you can see how the tool works. Take vacuuming high traffic area as an example. A robot vacuum can remove 15 minutes per day for 5 days a week. And let's add another recurring task, the manually adjusting the thermostat. Now, both of these probably feel like nothing, but the tool will add it all up. Now you're looking at 89 hours a year spent on something that literally would never be finished. That's not a messy house. That's more than 2 full work weeks spent pushing a plastic stick around and adjusting a dial. You've probably never been shown this way about your time before. And once you can see it this clearly, how often something repeats, what it actually costs, what could be removed, it's hard to unsee it. The quiet the question quietly changes from where do I find more time to why am I still the manual labor in this equation? As you play around with this tool, feel free to add a manual task that is personalized to your day to day. Now we move to apply leverage, and this reveals a pattern. Take vacuuming high traffic area as the example. You can automate and replace manual vacuum with automatic robot vacuum. And now look at this number on the right, 65 hours per year removed. You aren't doing it faster or being more efficient. You are just no longer involved in this equation. Next, on the thermostat adjustments, once you install the smart thermostat that you have programmed to run on its own according to your comfort level and schedule, you will effectively gain back 24 hours a year. That is the Warner principle in your living room, co creating an asset so you don't have to provide the effort. And adding it all up, the tool shows you an annual dividend of 89.3 mental hours contained. This is the part that makes people pause. The tool stacks these changes, and suddenly it's 89 effective hours reclaimed. It's just math applied to the things you already do. So let's go on to the execute strategy. And here's the catch, reclaimed time is fragile. If you don't assign it a job, your life will happily steal it back. So the engine is conservative here. Use the slider to account for reality. which means a percentage of your reclaimed hours is for mental resets and transitions. Because you're not a robot, so you want to set your usable capacity factor a percentage of the total contained hours. At 80%, you still have 71 hours of deployable capacity time, which means it's time you can reinvest into things that compounds. For example, time for your health, like meditation, 30 minutes a week, time for your hobby, like play a piano for 30 minutes 2 times a week. And finally, once you assigned the reclaimed time, you can see the percentage of your capacity that is assigned to commitment. And it'll capture whether you overcommitted or undercommitted the capacity time. When you mathematically track reclaimed time versus reassigned time, you remove the storytelling. You're not relying on how busy you feel. You can see in plain numbers whether you've exceeded the margin you just created.
I have designed the business course, This System, to show a very important point. To build wealth in life, it's not about the crush it energy. This tool will force you to see the repeatable, mindless tasks that quietly eats away your time. And the beauty in the world that we live in today is that there are many technology and solutions out there to reclaim your time. If you look into it, there are more affordable automation tools than most people realize, such as the robot vacuums, smart thermostats, grocery delivery. None of them are revolutionary on their own, but they do remove recurring friction. Because when the boring stuff is automated, you stop being the manual labor in your own house and start being the person who actually builds the portfolio. I'm curious, what's the one task in your week that repeats forever but doesn't actually move your life forward? Comment in the box below. If you ever felt like you don't need more motivation, you just need 5 minutes of space to actually think, this tool was built for just that exact moment. But time isn't the only thing being drained. Next, we'll talk about the work that doesn't just take minutes, it takes mental load. We'll look at how AI can either be your employee of the month or the thing that quietly drains what little power of end that you have left. That's where this gets interesting. I'll see you in the next video.